Anger echoed through Dresden's streets, drums beating, flags waving, and voices rising against what protesters called Europe's march to war. On Reformation Day, hundreds rallied under the banner Free Europe, demanding peace and warning that freedom itself is under siege. Waving German flags and chanting for ceasefires in Ukraine and Gaza, demonstrators accused Berlin and Brussels of pushing the continent toward another era of conflict. Many said Europe has lost its moral compass, trading diplomacy for weapons and silencing those who dare to question it.
You can never create peace with more and more weapons. It just doesn't work. Peace has always been achieved when people finally came to their senses, or when everything was so destroyed that they had no choice but to negotiate. That's what brings peace.
Their anger is also aimed at Chancellor Friedrich Merz's government, which plans to raise defense spending to 3.5% of GDP and expand Germany's military ranks. Protesters call it a dangerous war economy, warning that Europe's leaders are repeating the mistakes that once plunged the continent into chaos.
Quite a lot, I'd say. We're being heavily monitored. I'm quite a bit older and I lived through 1989. And to me, what we're seeing now is very similar to the collapse of the GDR back then. We're heading straight into a confrontation, but I don't think it will be as peaceful this time as it was in 1989. The people in power today are acting far more aggressively. Back then, everyone knew it was over and started to reorient themselves. Now, the government is pushing for confrontation. I think we have some hard times ahead.
For many, this was not just a rally. It was a cry for freedom. Protesters compared today's Germany to the days of East German censorship, claiming that citizens who speak out now face intimidation and backlash.
I grew up in the GDR, German Democratic Republic, and I think freedom of speech is just as threatened now as it was back then. Sure, you can say whatever you want, but you'll have to face the consequences that follow. At that point, it's not freedom for me.
Police watched closely as counter-protesters waved EU and Antifa flags, but the chants from the Free Europe crowd cut through the noise, demanding not just an end to wars abroad, but to the fear of speaking freely at home. In Dresden, the message was defiant and deeply emotional. No peace through weapons, no democracy without free speech. For many Germans, this was more than protest. It was a warning to Europe itself.